Working in esports means gaming whole day.
Yay.
Wait, there's like a FPS Hunger Games. I can kill everyone.
I wake up in the morning, oh my gosh, I'm gonna play Dota today.
You start playing Dota like when it was like a mod of Warcraft?
Oh no, I only started on Dota 2.
Show your age now.
Yeah, I guess I'm just running into that.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Chatterbox. Today's episode is all about esports in Singapore. I'm Cheryl, your host. I used to stream on Twitch. I worked a couple of years in the esports industry and I also tried competitive Valorant.
Hi, my name is Wolfsbane with 2 E's. My real name is Deborah. So I'm a full-time content creator on Twitch. Fun fact, I used to be an ex-competitive Hearthstone player.
Hi, my name is Nikhil. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a premier esports team here in Singapore called PaperX. Fun fact, I've been playing the game Counter-Strike for 22 years now.
Ooh.
Hi, I'm Gad, the creative director for PaperX. I've been in the creative industry for about 2 decades now, and I've probably been in esports just a little bit longer than that.
We're going to start with a short game called Fact or Cap. Okay. So if you think the statement that I read out is true, show us the happy face. And if you think it's cap, show us the sad face. So are you guys ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Singapore hosted the first ever Olympic Esports Week. Fact or cap? Yes, it's fact. So it's the first ever festival of esports and gaming organized by the International Olympic Committee. All right, second question. You cannot get injured by playing esports.
That's cap.
Straight cap.
Straight cap.
Yes, there was a Call of Duty player retired because he couldn't feel his thumb anymore.
You get all sorts of injuries. Your back, your neck.
Oh yeah, of course, like posture and everything. Posture check, guys. Are you guys
Posture
slouching?
check.
Posture check. Third question. You can earn a degree in esports.
Ooh, I heard that's true.
I think you can because there are universities for this.
Yes, and you're right!
Woo! Let's
Several
go.
universities have esports-centric degrees on offer, including universities in the UK, Korea, and Finland. Southeast Asia is among the world's fastest-growing esports market.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Definitely.
Yes, it's a fact!
Woo! Let's go.
Gamers make up 82% of the region's urban online population. You have to be of a certain age to join esports tournaments.
I would say
Professionally.
This is like fact and cap, but I'm just gonna say fact.
Yeah, I'll say fact.
I think fact.
Well, it's actually cap because the world's youngest
What?
esports player is 4 years old. Esports is not recognized by the Singapore government.
Oh,
Well, this is a loaded question.
No, this one is like fact.
I would say it's fact.
I think this is gonna spark a huge debate.
I think
Because
it's
like if you speak to people in the government, they're like, of course we recognize esports. But then when you talk to people on the ground, the reality is we feel like it's not recognized as a sport.
That is true.
Right now, the answer is cap because there is the SGEA, the Singapore Esports Association, and it's a national government body for esports in Singapore.
Yeah.
Like officially.
You can say that in principle, and I'm obviously aware of the people at SGEA. We know them, we talk to them. But in practicality, what does it really mean to be recognized as an official sport? I think you don't see that full spectrum of recognition that you would say in professional, traditional sports. A perfect example is there is a sportsman visa, but there is no e-sportsman visa. So I think we have a ways to go, but yeah, I'm glad there are bodies and
I
organizations.
mean, they're definitely trying, but
Yes.
like
Yeah.
we're not gonna say that we are already there. We still have
Right.
like many steps to go. Famous names such as Drake, Will Smith, David Beckham, and Michael Jordan have invested in esports.
I would say fact.
Yeah, we know this because we beat one of their teams,
David Beckham actually co-owns Guild Esports.
which we beat.
Which you guys beat.
David Beckham 0, PaperX 1.
Woo! Go
local
PaperX!
team,
We love
let's go.
PaperX! Yay! What is your favorite esports game and why?
A long time ago, I also used to play Dota too because I did enjoy team games.
I played Dota.
But I also wanted to try venture out into like a different game by myself. And I found Hearthstone and I thought it was a very interesting game. I have pretty slow reflexes as I age gracefully. So I thought maybe, expanding in brain power and strategy might be a better solution. So that's why I started Hearthstone and I had a lot of fun.
I feel like I kind of have to say Valorant here because our team is Valorant.
But what about CSGO for 22 years?
That's the thing. Favorite all-time Counter-Strike. It's been a game that's kind of opened the door for me in this industry. I started off as a player, casually, then competitively, then got into all different parts of running a team, then started my own news site covering Counter-Strike, which really led to where we are today with PaperX. So, I mean, Counter-Strike has always got a soft spot in my heart. Yeah.
So I think my favorite esport as a spectator would be Apex Legends, actually.
Oh.
I love Apex Legends.
Twitch had this new function called Command Center, where you could change the views and look at multiple teams at one time. So you could assemble your own viewing experience. And I think that was very, very unique.
I think my baby would still be Dota because I did spend a good 7 years playing Dota 2. And it's something like I wake up in the morning, oh my gosh, I'm going to play Dota today. And then I'll do my research on what's new, what's with the patches, like what are people doing. I really had a lot of passion for Dota, yeah.
True Dota player.
True Dota player.
True Dota player.
You start playing Dota like when it was like a mod of Warcraft?
Oh, no, I only started on Dota 2.
Oh, okay.
Show your age now, Nick.
Yeah, I guess I'm just running into that.
How often do you tune into esports tournaments?
How often do I tune in?
I mean, you kind of got to, right?
Every week.
It's like your job.
Yeah,
it's our job.
in a busy month, it's maybe every day.
Yeah, it's become a little bit like a job hazard for both of us.
Yeah.
We have all the streaming channels on almost all the time. We're just keeping
All
track
the time.
of what's happening.
I may not be focused on it. It just might be there, open in my window.
I would tune in a lot to Twitch streams. There's like a lot of like esports tournaments going on concurrently. But my free time, I do watch like TI, ESL. My most recent tournament that I watch is ALGS for Apex Legends. Yeah, because I have some friends who do support some teams, and I also love to support them together, and then we just hype up, and it's pretty fun to watch with your friends.
Yeah, I love watch parties. If you could participate in any esports tournament, which will it be and why?
Personally, I really like Apex Legends. I did start off with playing FPS due to like Battle Royale. First time I was like, wait, there's like a FPS Hunger Games. I can kill everyone.
I think for me, it would be the FGC, fighting games, actually. In recent years, I got really interested in like Street Fighter, Tekken. Those titles have a very, very tight-knit community. I would love to go to EVO because they're just different groups of all the various fighting games showing up down there and just hanging out together.
Like they all know each other. They all know who's like good in what game.
Yeah.
And people's reputation like transcends to the other games.
I think it's very unique to that genre.
Guess we'll be seeing you compete in Tekken 8 next year,
No,
maybe?
no.
Again, I'm going to choose something Counter-Strike related, but IAM Cologne. IAM Cologne has been like the cathedral of Counter-Strike is what they call it for the last 10 years. So I think, if I hypothetically had the skills and could compete at that level, I think it would be pretty sick to be.
It's never too late. I think for me, even though I don't really play League of Legends, I would choose Worlds. Because it's one of the
for
most watched tournaments ever. It's really, really hyped. People from all over the world will come to see it. And casual gamers, competitive gamers.
They always have the biggest concerts at Worlds.
Yeah,
too.
as well.
The production value for Worlds
Exactly,
is insane.
it's so hyped. Something I look forward to watching like every year. So as mentioned earlier, Singapore has a very large and vibrant esports scene. What do you think of the overall esports scene in Singapore?
During the COVID season, I think it started to pick up slightly because a lot of people are trying to discover like things to do, things to watch, or they realize, oh wait, we have Singapore local teams that are actually competing in like high competitions and tournaments. There are more people noticing it from also live streaming.
How would you compare the local scene to like other countries?
It depends market to market. Back then, the word esports didn't exist. It was just like, where are you going, LAN shop? What are you gonna do? Compete. Now you're seeing professional players. They all have facilities here. They have staff, and you've got associations and bodies. So our esports scene is growing, but we still have a long way to go. I don't think we're comparable to a market like Korea or the United States.
Like, we need more community and more fan base because like, I feel like a lot of Singaporeans are like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna support at home even though...
Yeah, they're lazy lah.
Yeah, they're lazy and then they don't support like countries like Philippines, Indonesia. I met a fan who took a train for 8 hours just to come down and support her favorite team. Like from her little village.
That's
like,
dedication.
And I hope that I will be able to see this like in Singapore like one day. And I think we really need the support from the community before the government like sees this and like, oh, maybe we can do something extra for these pro players.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other facet, apart from the community building, is also like infrastructural. If you look at like our team, which is currently in Seoul, there are specific apartments and services just for esports players, for boot camping or for tournaments, and there's a specific like visa class for those guys who are going over there as well. So if Singapore wanted to do that, it wanted to further advance, it would have to also build in a lot of these other considerations. I
mean, like Singapore has one of the best internets, but if you can't afford to set up a boot camp here because the rental is crazy expensive.
No, that's another factor.
Yeah.
It's the cost of doing business and cost of living here is higher compared to all of our neighboring countries, right?
Definitely, yeah. What role does esports play in our society?
I feel like it gives us like the discipline, right? Because you want to get better. It's not just like, oh, you play the game and that's it, right? You have a lot of strategy planning. That kind of like grows you as a person.
For society, like esports is a form of entertainment first and foremost, just like traditional sports is, but at the highest level, it brings a new purpose to, instead of just wasting your time playing video games as an escape, it gives a healthy and positive outlook on gaming where, you know, you have to be disciplined, you have to work hard. To expand on that a little bit, some of the best players in the world in Dota, in Counter-Strike, in Valorant, they were traditional athletes and then they got an injury that they couldn't come back from. And now they have this new opportunity. The whole idea of it being an equalizer for, you know, for different communities.
I think it's really interesting that you brought that up because I used to be an athlete. I played competitive football for like 6 years. And then I retired, and then I was like, what am I gonna do with all this competitive spirit? Oh, destroy some kids!
Yeah.
Like, let's like try esports, you know?
Esports has the ability to actually break down borders. When you get into a server, when you're queued with your party or your 5-stack, you don't really care where they're from.
I've learned vulgarities from every nationality.
Education.
I actually got asked by a parent just a few weeks ago, like, oh, doesn't playing video games a lot make your child more insular? What I said, actually, I've made friends online through these games, and you have this very unique shared experience of just the game. And you find that you may end up sharing things with these online friends and connect with them in a much deeper level because there is that inherent barrier where you know that they're not judging you, and like you can actually share more openly in some cases with these people than you can in your own life, which I think is very powerful, and it's good for all sorts of people who feel like they can't, for whatever reason, talk to people in their own life about certain issues.
I've met friends like all over the world. Like when I go to LA, I meet up people, I was like, oh my gosh, you're the one I've been playing like games for like 2 years with.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's very special when you actually end up somehow, somewhere, meeting them in real life.
What is it like being a part of the scene in your own capacity?
Being a CEO, whatever that means, and a co-founder of PaperX. It's very humbling all the time. The last 3.5 years, at least for me personally, has been a continuous learning journey. It's such a fast-moving industry. Technology is always innovating. Language, slay or not slay.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna be slay.
But yeah, I'm always kind of like lucky to meet all these different people around the world that I can tap into their experience. Us founders always talk about like if anyone says they can predict what's going to happen with esports in the next 5 years, they're lying.
It's capped.
There's
Yeah,
no
it's-
way.
it's cap.
100% cap.
That's cap.
We're here for the ride, and I think that's the fun part.
The one thing that you realize is that when you're in esports, work and play, there's no difference between that anymore. It starts to get very, very blur. Or in fact, you guys, even as a streamer, like when am I actually playing for fun and when am I actually playing for stream, you know, for work?
Right. My boyfriend is a professional player. Sometimes when I'm like, hey, do you want to play Valorant with me? He was like, I literally just played Valorant for 12 hours and you want me to come play Valorant with you? And I'm like, okay. You know, like,
Let's go.
Okay, so let me just ask you, do you prep content for both scenarios, like if you guys win or lose?
I think the short answer is we have to be prepared for both outcomes. So
Yeah.
we do have a folder for memes if we win, and then we have another folder for memes if we lose.
Oh, okay.
Lately, we've been using the memes when we lose one.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's very self-deprecating, but you know, even if we win, we also will try to, you know, poke fun at ourselves at times, you know,
Yeah.
and we give a lot of credit to our opponents.
I mean, like, if you guys lose but second place, it's still great. It's still a great result.
I always like to say it sounds better when you say first runner-up because you're still first, but you're the runner-up, right? Hey, you know, better than second place.
Nice try. Nice try. How can you be a part of the esports scene as a regular gamer?
Short answer, don't. No,
You can look at the camera and do that.
don't.
Don't.
This is something we get asked a lot, actually. I highly advise not to get your first job in esports. Go work somewhere, even if you hate the job.
Kind of need like experience
Yeah.
like elsewhere and bring
I
it
think
in.
so. It doesn't even matter what. Like we've hired people who are like chemistry majors. Like it doesn't matter what you studied in school. It matters now when you're in school, so stay in school and do your exams and all of that. But
Stay in school, guys.
Stay in school.
Stay in school.
to get into esports, I would focus on the skills that are needed in esports and also think about the things that maybe esports teams are not thinking about. Every organization will require back-end administrative people. The first thing they think about is I want to be a player or I want to be a Twitch streamer.
But there's so much more to
Right.
that.
Then again, content creation in like esports as well is not easy. So I think it's very important to look at all your options. Try everything, and then when you try everything, then you will know which is suitable for you, right?
So the gaming industry here in Singapore has made some significant contributions to the global gaming scene, with over 80 game developers, marketers, publishers and manufacturers calling Singapore home. This signifies the country's growing presence as a hub for gaming, with big names like Riot Games and Ubisoft establishing a strong presence in this country. So, how does the gaming industry support esports?
We're very lucky to have a company like Secret Lab, who's one of our sponsors at PaperX. Our other partner, Dreamcore, they custom all our PCs and they supply all our playing facilities. These are all the other parts that operate outside of the big game companies that help the ecosystem.
For myself, because I'm a gaming creator, so I have gotten a lot of support over these years from all these brands, and I've done content with them on Twitch. So because live streaming, I think is a very good way to connect with the audience, because they can actually see a live review of a streamer or content creator getting their hands on into the game, and they can give their very genuine thoughts and gives a chance for viewers to figure out if they want to buy it or not. That's why a lot of I think the gaming industry feel like they can work with these creators for that reason. Yeah.
How do you think esports helps the Singapore economy?
One good example is TI was here, and I think when you have a big event like that, it brings tourism, it brings commerce, it brings activity.
It would allow for job creation actually, and new kinds of companies, for example, that specialize specifically for hosting esports. Set up the streams, the casting, the replays. Things like that are being set up now, I think.
That's so important. Production is so important in esports.
Esports specific production companies and lighting companies, PC rentals, who's going to do tech support, that kind of thing. And venues have to be set up to accommodate for these things as well.
What is your ideal gaming setup?
Well, I have a 5-year-old daughter.
Oh.
So the ideal gaming setup would be sound insulated so I can play while she's sleeping.
I see.
Soundproof.
I thought you were getting a room for her. Gaming setup room.
We'll get there. Yeah,
Okay,
we'll get there. I'm teaching her how to play Minecraft now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not to brag or anything, but I feel like the setup I have is pretty ideal for me.
Do you have a picture or something?
We'll send it.
Picture over here.
Wow, that's really amazing.
Wow. Amazing.
I am a Twitch streamer after all, so I need to have lighting, a pretty decent PC, all the consoles, because streamers, we need to be prepared for different platforms. But I actually agree with you guys. I really feel like a sound insulated room would be quite important, because I do stay with my family. Sometimes if I play horror games, I might scream in the middle of the night. So
Have you ever gotten noise complaints?
my neighbor beside me is my mother, so
And you don't even realize because you got the headphones on.
Yes,
You're just in the
yes.
heat of the moment. You're like,
Yes.
ah! And then they're like, what are you screaming about?
so I try not to play horror games too late at night.
You should let her try the VR in the horror game.
Oh no.
And she'll understand why you're screaming in the middle of the night.
Content. Yeah.
Content.
How can youth support the esports industry in Singapore?
The obvious answers are, buy tickets for the games, buy merch, but the overlooked things is just simply tuning in. If you're talking about creators, obviously subscribing to their channels, viewership matters. And at the end of the day, where the attention is where the sponsored dollars go. On a local community level, go down to watch parties, go down to any events or activations.
Yeah, don't be lazy. Support your team.
One of the Thai fans, remember they emailed you and said,
Oh, yeah.
I want to host our own watch party.
Oh, no
They
way.
asked permission.
That's so cool.
And so we provided some basic assets and some collateral, and they went and hosted their own watch party.
Wow.
Yeah.
We made a fan kit, downloadable fan kit, so you can make your own signs and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so nice.
I thought that was really cool because that's also a very clear demonstration of how these fans are wanting to support us.
I do wish that I see more of this kind of stuff in Singapore, because I see a lot of other countries doing it, but I don't really see Singaporeans taking the initiative to go the extra mile to support their favorite team. For our final segment, we're going to be playing this game called Yay or Nay. So I'm going to ask you a question. If you think it's yay, you put a smiley face, and if it's nay, you just put a sad face. Working in esports means gaming whole day.
Yay!
Yay? You game whole day?
I'm trolling.
Yeah, so I think we speak about it a little bit earlier, that obviously there are a lot of other aspects. If you are good at a game, you don't need a coach.
I'm just kidding, no.
Well, I think this is kind of a personal opinion. I think some games you don't really need a coach.
Actually, I would disagree. I think a coach is important. Solo games also, we do have coaches.
And if you mean coach, you mean someone to give you a second opinion, I would say that you would need more than one coach. Because you can be very easily blindsided. You might be just too focused on your own game to even realize like what else should you be looking at to improve further.
Sometimes you need like the psychological part of like a coach. Like if a team is in a huge mess, they're like arguing with each other. Sometimes you just need them to like, you know, that kind of thing.
No, absolutely. Helping them with their mental overall well-being and just being like a mediator to communicate with the other players.
Esports is a fad and won't last long. How far do you think esports can go?
For all we know, it could fizzle out in 10 or 15 years, but I find that hard to believe. When you ask 11-year-old me who went to the LAN shop that one day I would be here on this talk show talking about esports as a topic, I'd be like, as a CEO of my own team, like that's insane, right? So who knows what can happen in the next 20 years, the opportunities, and I think we're still at the very beginning.
I'm really excited to see like what the new generation brings into esports as well. Okay, so this question comes up a lot, especially with people who are not very familiar with esports. Is esports a sport?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gaming, especially in a game like Valorant, with like a lot of like reflexes needed, you really do need...
You need like mental, you need like reaction time.
Yes, exactly. So I do believe it's pretty similar.
The technical skill is not as obvious, right? Because in sports, you're using your body, you're using motion. In esports, you're just using the click of your fingers, but those reaction times, those reflexes are as important, and the training and the discipline and the professionalism that the esports athletes have to go through. Sometimes they have to go for physio because they get injuries, right? The amount that they spend on the road traveling, they're away from their family. On top of that, they're in front of the camera. Like, that's also very draining and tiring. So it's just like being a professional football player or being a professional basketball player as well.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, guys, thanks for playing Yay or Nay with us. That was a really fun game. I hope you enjoyed the little segment. All right, to end off, I have one last question for you guys. What is one final piece of advice you want to give for all the viewers out there?
I think specifically for esports, to the young people out there, don't look at what it currently is and let that be your definition of esports. As the industry matures, as we go further into the future, there's going to be careers and going to be jobs that don't exist today. So keep an open mind.
There's so many areas that you may not think of that are still required. Like an esports company still is a company at the end of the day. If you want to be a player, just go and do it. Just get started, I would say. Keep at it, and you never know what doors will open.
From the content creator side, I wish I developed the kind of personality and the skills that I have right now as a Twitch streamer and had it back then as an esports player, because I feel like you also can build a lot on your personal like branding, your identity.
Self-marketing as a pro player.
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago, you know, it might be a little bit challenging because we don't have the resources to really do all
now
these
you have
things.
like Instagram, TikTok. If you're a pro player, you blow on TikTok, you have a much higher chance of like getting a spot into a team. You know?
Exactly,
Like,
yeah.
you know, Ray 4C is like the Ray's TikTok guy.
Exactly.
You know? So we have come to the end of the episode. Thank you so much everyone for coming down. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves.
Yep.
Once again, I'm Cheryl signing off.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please
Like,
Share.
Comment and subscribe.
Bye.